Hello, everybody. Welcome to NUFC Talk TV. This is the match reaction of the game that we just witnessed, which is Fulham 3, Newcastle 1. My take on it before I let the guys do their thing. Well, it really shouldn't be surprising, to be honest. We play horrible. We play bad like we've been playing every game. We didn't have. We sort of had Barnes try to save us again. He almost got it done, but it wasn't. It wasn't enough. The guy tried twice. There was a shocker by Shar that could have equalized the game. Shocker, shocker, shocker. And to a guy that can score, you tell me Dan Burn. Well, it is what it is. But Shar knows he has the quality to do that to score that goal. He didn't do it. Uh, and But it just overall to me wasn't a good. I criticized, or I said that I don't like Hole not starting. Clearly, when he come on, as he comes on every time in the second half, it's something different, proactive, attacking. Running all over the place. The overlap with Harvey Barnes, for Harvey Barnes on the left side, and it did work for the first minutes of the second half. It got diluted at the end of the game. Um, and so I mean the tactics didn't work to me. I still don't know what Eddie's trying to do, to be honest. And then you got players as well, because the criticism can't only go for Eddie, because players right now are literally not playing good at all. Not playing good. Now you can say the first minutes of the second half we played decent. All of a sudden we remember this is a football game and that we were there to play, and that we can make passes. But just overall, it just wasn't good enough. Joe Linton never been he absent the whole game. Bruno had a shocker at the end of the game, man. Just unbelievable. I mean, you have to know you're a good of a player like that. You have to know when to pass, when not to. I don't think that's an Eddie, because some people will say Eddie is trying to play from the back. These are not robots. Players know what makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense to give up dangerous pass to the middle, as anybody would tell you, don't. If you don't know what to do, just hoof it. Hoof it. Didn't do that. Gave it great assist for the third goal of Fulham. Pope, you can say Pope was one of the best players, but he's responsible for the second goal. And then what? Nobody played good. Nobody played good. To me, Trippier was absent, not good or bad, just not there. Um, Willock wasn't good enough as a starter. Now Longstaff didn't play. So I guess if you look at it from that sense, that's a positive. But I just Tonali is just too good, man. And it is not fair to give him 15 minutes and see if you know when the things are not going well, you throw him in to see if he can save your ass. It can't work like that. You know what I mean? You have to give him time. Have to give him time. Tonali not starting to me in this team is unbelievable. I don't know. I don't understand why. Up front, like I said, Harvey Barnes, he tried to do something. I guess you could say he's the best player, to be honest, of this game, because he tried to do something. He did it. Tried it again, almost. Alexander Isak, absent. Absent, absent, absent. Gordon disappeared. Gordon disappeared. And Osula came on, and you say, well, look at that young lad everybody's talking about, that we need to give time. We need to, little by little. He comes on, he gets the ball, he starts dribbling, going forward, looking for the goal. He messed up on the pass, could have gave it to Harvey Barnes. Regardless, there are two mentality when it comes to young players, two types of mentality. The young player that you put him on and he gets scared, he panics, or the other young guy, because he's young, he doesn't give a damn. He feels like he's playing in the neighborhood with the lads. And that's what it felt like to me Osula was. He didn't care about the score as he should. He just caring about scoring. And that's the type of young guy I think he is, and maybe that's why we need to give him more minutes, because he's not scared of the moment. So that's my assessment. It was a poor performance, but can't be surprised. Cannot be surprised. Mighty Win, what is your take on the game?
Well, let's start off with the lineup. Tonali not starting, but neither was Longstaff. So Eddie decided to go with J7, Bruno, and Willock. Did that work? absolutely didn't work, and that was apparent from, well, certainly by the time we went 2 down, it was apparent that that wasn't working. For then the subs to be made, and Tonali still doesn't come on, and Willock and J7 are still on the pitch. Eddie's got to answer questions. I look forward to his press conference, see what he's got to say. The changes he made in the second half worked instantly, as we saw. It would appear, but it still didn't address the core problem that our midfield was completely unbalanced. And from the first half, when, as we said it before the match kicked off, they had 5 in midfield against our 3 effectively. But let's address the elephant in the room, which you've already referred to, Gary, which is Isak.
Yeah.
Isak just isn't there, and Gordon isn't there either.
I mean,
But I have
it's what you used to before.
Those are the 2 players that we rely on for a bit of magic, a bit of flair, a bit of quality, and neither produced either. And that's the problem. Now, can you put that down to Eddie? I don't know. The good news is we're still 6th. The worst we can possibly do after tomorrow, because Brighton and Forest play each other.
Forest play, yeah.
Ideally, we want to draw there now. Boy, do
yeah,
we
exactly.
want to draw.
More than anything else.
Boy, do we want to draw there now.
Yeah.
Because if one of them wins, obviously we'll go to 7th, and then we've got Man City next game. Newcastle, I've been going long enough now to know that it's just everybody's rating it. After that performance, everybody is rating us off now against Man City. And I've been watching us long enough to know that these are just the sort of games where everybody's rating us off, and we'll come back and we'll play like world beaters. But I still say, in order to be able to do that, we've got to start the right players. And, we started the day with Trips and Kelly at fullback. What I said in the build-up was I wanted to see either or. I didn't want to see both. We definitely needed one of the young ones on. I didn't want to see them both on away. And I don't think they both worked when eventually we ended up with them. After Eddie time, we ended up with them both on. I don't think that particularly worked either. But Eddie's got to take a lot of the... Well, I'm saying Eddie, Gordon and Isak. Because Gordon and Isak today were pants. And you can argue that that's because Isak wasn't getting any service. But to me, he just isn't... I'd like to see, I'd like to see him playing. I wish, I'd love to see him playing with Callum up front, and him in the channel in a 4-2-3-1. But Eddie is wedded to 4-3-3, and maybe, like I say, I would have definitely been on the dark side today if Longstaff had started. Hey, hand on heart, I had my heart in my mouth when his first substitution was Murphy. I went, what? But here, it was Murphy who, yet again, added to his stats by providing the assist. So you cannot argue with it.
It's a recurrent when Murphy comes on the pitch, he immediately does something good, but then he gets lost.
You're very quiet there, Chris.
What I was saying is it's a recurrent thing that Murphy, when he comes on in the pitch for the first time, he does something good, but then he gets lost.
Yeah,
he gets lost again.
Yeah,
and doesn't last. It's not good. It
Well,
doesn't
momentum should
maintain.
have shone then, shouldn't it? I mean, I agree with everything you two have said. I mean, from my point of view, when I first looked at the squad, I said to you, didn't I, when I first seen it, when we pulled it up on the screen, I was surprised because the system that he went with the back four, you don't expect to have uh, a big three in the midfield. It doesn't make any sense to a degree. I was a bit surprised, but then I thought, I wonder whether he's going to give Trips the freedom to work the right hand channel to try and create the space and everything else up the right hand side and bring Kelly back to go three. And then obviously one of the two wider midfielders. So you either go J7 or you go Willock to move a bit further up the field to play in that half space. And then it works a bit more of a balance. But when from the very early part of the game, you started to see that both Kelly and Trips weren't really getting themselves up the field. A couple of times for Kelly, a couple of times for Trippier, but it seemed every time they were more happy just to sit in, and then you get the unbalance where both Willock and J7 want to play left side of midfield, and it was as if as soon as we lost the ball in those channels, there was nothing in midfield then to go for the second ball, and it was an easy pass for Fulham to come through us. Um, Anthony Gordon, very bits and pieces, not really involved in much of the good play. Again, seems very, and I'm not sure what it is. And now everybody keeps on saying, well, it's only his first, his fifth game back, and he's been in the international breaks, but his body language to me isn't there. It isn't the fight that we saw last season. He's, Chris made while he was commentating. There was a ball that was running out of play, and he didn't make any effort to keep that ball in. It was just like, well, yeah, you've got your body in front of me, but I'm not going to challenge you. You're okay. And I'm like, what is that? That's not fighting spirit for me. And I've often said you can carry one player. Any 11 on the park can carry one player, but you can't carry 4 or 5. And unfortunately, there's been 4 or 5 players on that park that need to hold their hands up in that dressing room while they're getting a bollocking and say, sorry, Gaffer, I haven't performed today, because it's not just one player. You can't point your finger at one player. And unfortunately, when it comes to the results you've seen by mistakes that are happening because you're trying to force play going forward, nothing looks smooth today. Getting the ball up front, nothing stuck while it was up front. It was only when he started to change the system and we had Gordon in the pocket of space where we got the goal. Where because at that time Fulham didn't know where to do it, upset their rhythm a little bit. It left a little bit of a hole for Gordon then to be involved in. Gordon moved a player out of position, which then when Willett come deep and tippy tapping it to Murphy to run into the space to create the first goal. And then you get, Shark can score a goal from 25 yards, but can't score from 5
Let's go
yards
from 2.
scenario. You know what I mean? So you start asking yourself, the rub of the green just isn't there today. And that's all about mental attitude towards the game. It would have been simpler to him to square the ball off for then, Isaac to have an open goal to get us back on level terms. And then it's a game, isn't it? It's whoever goes and gets the game. But as soon as he missed that opportunity, it seemed to have a crescendo effect on the rest of the team, as this is an uphill battle. And to be fair, I don't know what they've done in the time that they've been training, but everybody seems as though they're running through treacle. They don't seem, light on the feet anymore. It seems to be plodding.
Mm.
Um, and again, that's just about mental effect. It's a negative mental effect that they've got running through the team at this present moment in time. We've been getting the results by luck and effort to a degree rather than skill and tactic. And I think today, where you needed that little bit of guile, I'm sorry, but I have to give 70% of the problem to Eddie's
Yeah.
setup.
Well, I think
And then I think
that's
30% to the team.
that's a common theme in the chat. But just to get through a few of the chats, a loss like that would be the best thing for our season. Picking up results like we have, we're papering over the cracks. A big wake up team for the team and also for the fans. Pete
We got,
WY, this is what I meant the other day when I suggested 4-4-2, playing one up front with two wide forwards isolates the striker. The managers are afraid to go old school. Well, I agree, because Isaac for me is never has been a centre forward. Bruno
great when the
poor
team's-
again,
but he
wants too
scored a lot of
much
goals.
time
It's
on the
not.
ball, isn't a
Yeah, he's-
captain, not an organizer or a leader. I can't say there's anything wrong with that either.
There's certainly flaws, isn't there?
Gordon needs that contract sorted as soon as possible. And Brandt, I would be completely shocked if City don't beat us by 4 goals next week. Well, I would be, but that's by the by.
How can you be surprised when we're playing like this?
Yeah,
Not be
exactly.
surprised. How can you not be surprised if they beat us playing like this?
Because we've got a good defense.
How can you say that we let a goal per game get scored? That's not good defense, man. Literally every game, except one maybe. You cannot. You cannot allow a goal per game and expect to win anything. And not only let them score overall in the game, they score first every time, and we are in an uphill battle the whole game. And it's never going to happen. There's not a team in the
So
world. It's not a team in the world that will always come back every single time. Not a team in the world.
So this is Man City who are going to put 4 past us next week. And Man City let Ipswich score first. Man City
on,
let
man.
Brentford
But
score
you
first.
Come on, man. Are you really going to put Man City are miles ahead of us, man?
I'm not disputing that for a second.
So playing like this, if Fulham did this to us, what makes you think that Man City won't? I mean, I'm not even trying to debate. It's just literally common sense from what we've seen all season. But let me ask you this, and I want to the chat if they don't mind answering.
I can tell you, Matt. I can tell you exactly the last time we didn't have a corner in a match, and it was the home game against Man United 2 seasons ago. First time ever Newcastle hadn't had a corner in a match.
See, there we go. Look. Everybody, and I didn't. This is just everybody talking for helping the American mag here. Brent says good defense. We had one clean sheet all season. Exactly. Yeah. Matt, good defense. 6 goals in 5 against those teams. Those teams that we're talking about are Southampton, Bournemouth, Wolves, Fulham,
Tottenham.
One Tottenham, a team that's probably fighting for top 6.
Why leave Tottenham out when you're spouting all the shitty teams?
Because it's one top team out of the other. Kenzie, good defense when you're losing the plot more than.
So you look at Man City, Brentford, Ipswich.
Yeah, but I think
we're both ways, man.
I think we're missing the point now. I mean, you're absolutely right. Any team will concede goals, especially when they're not focused on what's going on. The biggest problem is with the opposition that you've just mentioned, which is Man City. They always look like scoring. We don't look like scoring.
Exactly.
And there's a massive difference when you're conceding silly goals today. And I said in the first half, every time Fulham come forward, they look like scoring. There's a difference. Every time we went forward, we didn't look like doing anything in the final third. It was going up there, but then there was making a difficult decision, and the ball was coming back. And it was like, what is the end product, guys? And it seems as if, and forgive me if I'm wrong here, but it seems as if to me it's not only the panel here and the rest of the chat that are saying it. It looks like to me that a lot of the lads playing alongside Isaac haven't got the confidence to pass to him in the box either, because he's not getting anything to work off. He's not getting any aerial work to go on, because we know he don't jump very well. He doesn't get into feet at all in a dangerous area. I mean, look, today we gave Jimenez one opportunity. Yeah, no, but we gave Jimenez one opportunity, and he scores. We don't feed the ball into Isaac at all in the box. So how the bloody hell do you expect us to score goals?
Exactly. But it's not about Isaac not being a center forward, as you say. We don't even give him the ball. How can he even try to score anything? Now Isaac doesn't do the other work.
There,
No,
Like,
hang on,
he's
hang
not the
on. There
grafter.
were at least 3 occasions today when balls were put through, good balls were put through to Isaac, and he didn't fight and get the balls the way a Callum Wilson would have done.
man, you know what? I agree with you. Okay,
At
I
least
agree with you.
3.
Just because I don't want to argue Isak, we have bigger. I want to pose this
Yeah.
question to the people in the chat. Please, people in the chat, answer this for me if you can, and also you guys here. Why? I've been told this, by the way. Obviously, watching football for a long time. Uh, I've always told by managers that are pundits now and say, if one player plays bad or two, it's on them, and if the whole team plays bad, it's on the manager. So take that with a grain of salt and
No, that
answer
makes
my
sense.
answer my question if you don't mind. Why? And the chat, please, as well. Every single player is playing like bullocks. Why? Please help me understand why every player is underperforming. Feels like they're running on sand. Why?
Well, it's only what the manager's giving them instructions to do in the training. Like I said, you can't blame that they've had a midweek game and they're tired mentally and physically. You can't blame anything apart from if Eddie's confusing them with the work that they're doing on the training ground. As you saw today, there's miscommunication on the field because you've got overloading by so many players on the left hand side where when the ball breaks down, it's easy for other teams to break on us. So whatever is being told on the training ground by Eddie, whatever his instructions are, isn't then being spotted. As you could see, Eddie's screaming at the lads to get back into position. You could see that today. So there's certain individuals that are taking the game and gambling of what's wherever the ball is on the field, they're overloading their playing role. And like I said today, we all, both me and when we started the team this morning, this afternoon, we turned around and said, "Yeah, it's a strong side. It is a strong side. On paper, it looks absolutely as if we're going to go to the cottage and
And
give
it took
Fulham."
her 5 minutes to score.
And then all of a sudden, it's like, "Whoa, hold on! What's
Disallowed.
going on?"
And
Yeah, and it looked good. But like I said, all of a sudden, when the game goes on, you can start to see the flaws. And it was again and I keep saying it. If your midfield isn't working, you open the door for every attack coming through you. And you, again, our defense looked all over the shop. And I keep saying to it, you know, there's only so much Pope will stop in any game. And today, he didn't look at his best. So when
he was poor.
everything goes against you, you're going to have games like this where you're just going to hold your hand up and say, "Guys, we just didn't play well. We didn't play well enough to get the
It
game."
was a
But you
bad
can't
day at the
individually
office.
point the finger at anybody in particular when there's that many players not playing well. I mean, look at Bruno's pass into the box today for their final goal. I mean,
And
that's Sunday league stuff. I
well,
would have literally dropped my player at my level if he'd have done something like that at my level. He would not have played again for me for another 2 or 3 weeks, regardless of his ability. Because if you start doing that at that level, that's what you get punished. Even at my level, you got punished.
I
And that's
believe
what I said.
uh
It's shocking.
I believe Kenny or Kenzie was saying that he shouldn't have done that, and I think I learned that when I was in school. I mean,
Yeah.
it's simple, man, and simple, and he knew it. He knew it, but ultimately, it doesn't matter if he. I would hope he realizes he made a mistake, but it doesn't matter. We had 4 minutes to go. We could have made something happen, but that goal was just it. It was demoralizing. It
Yeah,
closed the game. It wasn't
that
possible.
Dropped
was
the
a
nail, didn't
kick
it?
Uh,
in the
Absolutely.
bollocks.
thank you to all the new chatters as well. I see Derek Palmer. I see that new viewers as well. Jens is back. Jens Gardeton from, I think, where's Jens from? Sweden. Jens, where are you from, babe? There's a few new lads as well. We're gonna get into those comments. We got a lot of comments stars. So this is a stream. We're not going to do the player score. We're going to do that tomorrow at 9 p.m. as we usually have our late night show, 9 p.m. So we're going to do all that. But oh, look at that, Derek. New viewer says, and you are contributing to our failures by supporting mediocrity. That's my type of guy. telling the mighty win. I'm sure because he's the one supporting this mediocrity, man. You say we have the best defense in the world. You have the best this, the best that. I don't see all this best because to me, there's nothing changed from today, then Wolves, then Bournemouth, then Southampton. People blame that on the one man down. Okay, everywhere else, you can say Tottenham was our best performance, um, but it's the same. Other than we realize the goals that we scored. Barnes scored a world type, an unbelievable goal. Fabian Schär, another unbelievable goal with a bit of luck there on the deflection. Today, Harvey Barnes is a single play. It's not like, this is what we do as a team. It's a single play. Harvey Barnes just does inside, rubs his lamp, and bang. So it's not really, they're not really plays from the playbook. They're not plays from the manager. It's simply coming from these genius, some of these players that are geniuses, like Harvey Barnes. And that's it. Basically bailing Eddie Howe out. But to me, if you're telling me every single player is not playing good, not even good, not even playing decent, something is going on. I don't know. Absolutely. I don't understand the tactics. I don't know. I just don't know what Eddie's doing. But let's go with the comments because people are have a lot of them, and keep starring them so we can have something to talk about later on. Civic says, I think that's how you say your name, mate. If I were Eddie, I'd start Tonali, I'd start Livramento, I'd press from the start, give Fulham no chance. Well, Fulham too late now. We got Man City to do that. Are we going to do that against Man City? Oh, man. Vendetta. Hate me if you want to, but we are bad team, playing bad football all season, and today was deserved. When your manager won't play his best players, it's time to go. The message has gone stale. How out, says Vendetta. Brent, this is why the fan base has been negative. We have had charming, soft, how do you say that? Shido? To begin.
Soft schedule, I think that is.
Soft schedule.
To begin the season and have played terribly. Those poor sides haven't punished us until today. Queen of Heart, one question.
Fulham on the poor side, by the way.
Oh, my God. It's just unbelievable.
Why
Queen
is
of Heart,
masterclass from Eddie?
one question. Why is it Southgate masterclass from Eddie? I'm looking to be sacked. How? Not sure that Queen. Are you calling for Eddie to be sacked? Say it with your chest, Queenie. Lewis says
she's going to the dark side. I think.
She's going to the dark side. Yeah. Lewis Newcastle fan. Lewis York says I missed the last 3 minutes of the game because I turned the game off after a third goal. I couldn't bother to watch it anymore. Jordy Dan, one of the worst performances I've seen in a long time, says Jordy Dan. My man here says Willock, Kelly, Byrne versus Adama. How no good. Joe Linton, Tonali, Bruno. First time 2-0. What? Daniela Stewart. Hi, boys. It's looking like we're not the only ones
that's not
that had a
true
bad
for
day.
a start because the three didn't start.
Right. Daniela says it looks like we're not the only ones that had a bad day at the office. No. Random Access, we need to talk about the elephant in the room. And I think we all know what that is. What is it, Random?
Well,
There's a lot of elephants, to be honest. There's a lot of elephants.
Sorry,
again.
I've got to knock at the door.
All right, man. Yell if you need help. We'll call. What is it?
Sound of the police. Whoop, whoop.
What is it? What is it? What is 911 in the UK?
999.
999. If we're here yelling from the background, 999, ladies and gentlemen, go to Gosford. Mad Mag, just me, or was it only Murphy at the races? Well, for the first couple of minutes, but then that horse got tired. Terminator Seed, Murphy's a good impact sub, did well. I agree with that. Tonali should be playing over either Joe Linton, who could be an impact sub, or Bruno, who is in the comfort of the zone with his plays in the team. More or less, by the way, that debate yesterday between me and the Mighty Win will come out next week at some point alone as a video. It proves my point, man. Gordon is not playing well. And you're gonna make him the best paid player in Newcastle. Don't know. Civic says, I know Eddie doesn't control the transfer window, but at the end of the day, he is the gaffer. and therefore should have got the deals done. Well, a right winger, a center back, that's all we needed. Well, I mean, he can't negotiate, so it's up to the three musketeers on the stands. Did you see them? Boy, they were ready for it. The three musketeers, man.
And the trouble is, this just adds fuel to that fire, though, doesn't it? You know,
The
is there something going on between the backroom staff and Eddie, which is upsetting the tactics going forward? And now, because I did say to Win the other day, probably the second time I've looked at Eddie's body language, and he's not the lad that I saw last season when everything was working
or the
okay,
season before, or the
or the
season
season
before.
before. There's obviously something that's
Yeah.
affecting him, and I'm not blaming. I'm certainly not saying that that's the reason. I'm just saying there's a potential, you know. And we all said until it affects the team on the field, then questions need to be asked. And I
Yeah,
think
and,
you know,
all I
it's,
will say,
this season hasn't
is,
been good.
be careful what you wish for.
Yeah,
well,
Be
that's fine,
careful what you wish for.
but it's a results-driven sport, man. If it ain't working, it ain't working.
Absolutely,
So,
I couldn't
so-
agree more. Could
so,
not agree more. And he
um,
takes the plaudits for good results, and he takes the brickbats for bad results. Today was a bad result, bad performance, a lot of weird selections, you might say. There was a comment that we put up earlier on about not knowing or not starting his best 11. That's that's perfectly valid in my opinion. Why Tonali is not on the pitch at the start, I've got no idea. So he needs to answer that. But you also have to address that, talking about elephants in the room, and the big elephant in the room for me is Isaac and Gordon right now. Two elephants.
Can I just take you back, Win, to Tonali, right? Now, you, like myself, and Chris, I believe, watched the international matches with Tonali.
Yeah.
All of us were excited to have this lad coming back into the team.
Yep.
Apart from Eddie Howe. Now, is this a little bit of shithousery from Eddie Howe because he's let Eddie Howe down last season? Has Eddie Howe got some type of
if
shithousery going on?
If that's the case, I'm a massive giant step towards that.
Yeah, no, we need to get him out.
You understand me now, do you?
Well, look,
because I'm questioning it now.
Yeah, but if that's happening, if Eddie Howe's not playing Tonali because of his mistakes of the past and trying to give him a lesson, trying to say, well, you're not just going to come back.
You're not bigger than the team.
You're not bigger than the team. Eddie Howe needs kidnapped immediately.
Because I have no excuse for the lad not playing. None whatsoever.
At this point, he comes on, man. Those passes are precise, long passes. It just
along the ground.
It's different. It's different, man. It's different. It's different. And we keep saying this, though. We keep saying Mighty Max said Tonali must start next Saturday, and next Saturday, and next Sunday, and next Sunday. And we keep saying that. And there's always a reason. And there's always something. And there's always, now Willock started. That's better than Longstaff, which technically it is.
It is.
Yeah. But it's not. The elephant in the room.
You can't start J7 and Willock. That's what we said. It's like I said, it's a strong midfield. If Willock goes into the 10 slot and leaves J7 and Bruno in the middle, but when you start getting the two of them playing in the same channels, you're totally unbalanced. And none of us here are professional footballers, professional coaches, but you can see it. Yeah. All of the chat said exactly the same.
We could see from the kickoff, basically. The
kickoff was decent. After kickoff was a bit decent for the first 5-10 minutes, and then it went downhill, man. Well, I'll tell you what. Until the Joe Linton goal was canceled.
Yeah. Well, let's say for the first 20 minutes instead of from the kickoff. For the first 20 minutes, you could see that our midfield was imbalanced. That there was nobody playing the right midfield role. And when you've got a player of the quality of Tonali on the bench who can play that role, you think, what's going on?
Yeah.
So because J7 was given the right hand role, but he didn't want to be there. He wasn't doing anything. He looked worse than Longstaff, to be fair. He was just running around doing nothing. He was invisible.
Mm-hmm.
No, Eddie's got a lot to answer. But I mean, obviously they've done his press conference by now. I would really like to.
No, I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. Right now,
Trying to work out this.
you know what I'll do? We got a lot of people watching right now, and it'll be interesting to get some other fans' opinions. So I'll throw the link in there. Join the chat. You don't need a camera if you don't want to. Join the chat and have your say.
Yeah, give your opinion.
Get your opinion in because we want to see what the fans are thinking. So and you don't have to do it for a long time. It's just barely 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes, and we should reshare these clips on our channel. So if you want to have your say for a brief moment, join the chat right now, and right there, the link. You can join from your phone. You can join. Don't need much. You don't even need a camera. Come on and have your say for a few minutes, and spill the beans and get it out your chest quickly and swiftly.
Yeah, this is what Steve's put in is what I said last week.
There that we haven't got onto yet.
Well, we got a lot of chats. So you know what?
We got a lot.
Thank you, Roger Cook just became a member as well. Got gifted a membership. Says, "What the actual f? We were not shy of shite." So that is true.
Let's not gild the lily. We were shite.
All right, more comments. Betsy,
except
we have
a couple of very, very brief periods.
Yeah. Betsy says Betsaira is her name, my beloved wife. We have some great talent, but it seems some players are weighing it back. Sadly, and I could possibly be because they are overplayed. No. Well, they're not though.
They're playing a game a week.
They're not. They're playing one game a week. That's not the issue, you know. Adnan Ali, every player the club signs, how does not play them? Ooh, interesting.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to be very interesting, what lineup goes up against Wimbledon.
Yeah. Betsy says, this is a waste of money and talent. It can also cause future players to look over Newcastle because they would feel like they won't be played. And that's a fair point, to be honest. You know, that's
Eddie's way, isn't it? That's all way. But you can't say that about the likes of Tonali. I mean, Asuli, yes, because you want him to get into the way of Eddie's thinking, but you can't say that about Tonali.
Right. My man here says, I don't know your name, man. Tell us how to pronounce your name so we can say it. First time, why no Tonali? Willock halftime, how? No. Oh, we read that was one thing. Jordy Dan, maybe we should have just sold Gordon to Liverpool. His head seems gone.
I'll go along with that.
Vendetta, Tonali is good enough to be a starter for AC Milan in Italy, but not Eddie. Whoa, that's tough right there, man. That first part of the comment got me because I'm like, so true, right, isn't it? So yeah, right. True. Eddie too clever for his own good. Pride comes before a fall. Eddie needs humbled.
Well, I think he got his humbling today.
He certainly has.
Yeah.
Which was the point I put up before by, I forget who it was now, saying that, it's a wake-up call and somebody needs to heed it. And if it isn't heeded, he'll be out on his arse.
Sneaker Juice, the three people in the midfield had no creativity. Joe Linton has been the most creative so far, and that says it all. Kenny W.
I don't think he was very creative today, but
that says it all.
Of the three, Willock looked kind of the best, but it was poor, wasn't it?
Kenny W. Now I'm saying it is how the men. Is it, or maybe you're asking, is how
I
the
think
man?
Kenny W. Now he's blaming how.
Yeah. Kenzie says Bruno passing across his own box, Gordon a liability, Shar giving Jimenez 10 minutes to score a goal, and then missing an open goal. It was generally haunting that game.
Yeah, well, I think 10 minutes to score the goal is a bit.
Well, I mean, but he's
that was that was just a brilliant finish.
It was, but
it was the only off chance he got.
He didn't give him 10 minutes. He was on him. He was on him. He just did brilliant.
He gave him 5. Okay.
Sometimes you just got to take your hat off and say good goal.
Yep. Lee in UFC, Barnes has earned the right to be a starter every week on the left. Gordon can play on the right, or he can sit on the bench.
Yeah, well,
he was horrible
Barnes,
today. Wasn't interested at all. That's right. But but then he switched them quickly though. No convictions. He switched them.
Well, no, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He tried to get Gordon on.
They were switched quickly after like the 25th minute.
Yeah,
and you
tried to get Gordon in the game.
and then he ended up switching back in the second half when,
Yeah,
when
the
we were
second
Yeah,
half,
winning.
yeah.
when Gordon was off. Yeah.
I think that was the plan for to switch them. I said that.
Well,
I said that
that's a
before
poor
kickoff.
that's a poor plan. You can't just be how can they get used to if you're trying to get them to get used to their side, Gordon on the right and Barnes on the left. You've got to keep them there, or else they'll never get used to.
No, the plan was to confuse Fulham
Oh, okay. Well, I think
instead of which it confused us.
exactly. I think the plan worked the other way. James Thatcher, I'm so angry. I went to take off my neighbor's front door and took it, took it with me. Lars says Eddie is the one letting players stink. To be honest, not taking off Gordon of earlier in that match is a travesty and completely what Eddie do again and again with certain players. Jens says both Bruno and J7 have been awful the whole season. To play Burn against a quick Fulham is mental. He gets roasted over and over. He did get cooked a few times. I'm just waiting also for right now for the Kelly Shar combination. But I don't think that's ever going to come in my lifetime because if he doesn't play Tonali, imagine him trying to do something like that. Steven says he needs to just bloody start the strongest team. I cannot understand how Tonali isn't starting. Willock has been out injured and starts. Tonali fit and ready on the bench. Stephen Harker, Fabian Schar's donkey dong should square it for 2-2. Also J8, J7 maybe you say. J7 shite since new contract signing. True. Ian Fleming, City will put 6 past us if we play like that. 100%, man. Welcome, Dexy, to the chat. Says effing shite. Welcome to the channel. I don't know, mate mate, regardless. So there you go. Welcome to the channel. Jen says we must bench players who underperform regardless of a name, status. Our back line is way too slow. Way too slow.
And that's from Eddie's mouth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't matter who you are, if you're not performing, that's what Eddie said. Now, I'm sorry, unless he's going to start using the academy, he ain't got the fucking team.
We're not
Chris Adman.
Chris Radam says, welcome also to the channel, mate. Appreciate it. Wait, that picture right there, you look like what's the City goalkeeper? From back in the day. Oh, that pictures look familiar. But says, House tactics have been found. Also, something isn't right, especially with the body language on Gordon, Isak, and Bruno. Interesting. Also, welcome Live Live Daily. We've seen him. The tactic simple is that. That's the when I asked that question, why the team not playing good? Well, people are saying the tactics.
Yeah. Well, you made a valid point early doors when you said if 1 or 2 players are playing bad, it's down to the players. If everybody's playing bad, it's down to the manager, and I think that's a very, very fair comment.
Spot on.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Not
Appreciate that.
They don't understand
which is unusual coming from your lips, but
see, I told you learn something if you just sit quiet and listen. Random says we can't concede in so many games and still claim the best defense is great. The defense is great. It isn't. So that's the mighty talking to mighty.
Isn't no.
Man, you just say, oh, this dude, man. Come on, man. You literally said we're gonna beat Man City because we got the best defense.
Right.
And then what was that?
Roll there.
You are that. Oh man, that is the ultimate flip flop.
Call it play. There's no flip flops here. No flip flops.
Even Jumper Donny laughing in the chat with the mighty win emoji. Come on, man. You are knackered, man. You were done. You're playing like the team right now. You're underperforming, man. Bob says start Tonali and put Kelly and Shar as our center halves. Play the best players we have in the squad and stop picking favorites. Yep.
We seem to have lost our way. Roger Cook's put in there. Intensity was our identity. Since we've stopped doing the intensity, we've lost everything. Yeah.
Come on, somebody get on there. There's a StreamYard link there. Let's have some bodies on.
But I tell you what, man, and this is the not a lot of people want to have this conversation, obviously, but it just Eddie's losing the plot, man.
Yep.
Eddie's losing it. I'm telling you, and
I think he's trying to prove a point, and he's failing miserably at the minute.
He is. I totally agree with you, mate. If this is him
so
trying to get one over Mitchell about his team,
it's like I said, if everybody isn't pulling in the same direction, you're going nowhere. And that's what's happening right now. And it's apparent. And it needs sorting one way or the other. Get rid of
because you
Eddie
can't
if you
say
want.
this is a new thing,
Get
can
rid
you?
of
Because this has been
Mitchell
going on
if
from
you
the start of
want.
the season.
Yeah, you guys chat it up. I'll be back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It needs sorting because we've got lucky so far, and today we came unstuck big style.
Yeah.
All you know, and albeit it could have been a different story, but if it had been a different story, it wouldn't have been by good management. It would have been by good luck, not good management.
Yeah. I mean, Foxy said about a DM, you know, and this is what we were saying about. Roger Cook's coming in. We were saying about having Eddie not wanting to use a defensive midfielder. It gives you more
Roger.
to get that
Hi,
ball.
Wayne. Hi, Gary. How you doing?
How you doing?
Doing good. What you got to tell us?
Well, to kind of echo what everyone's been saying in the chat and your good selves, of course, like you can't pin it down to what was missing. The list of things are missing in the team.
Oh, absolutely.
We looked downhearted. Every player looked a bit pissed. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
That's all right.
Like, apart from in my thought, of course, Tonali came on. He looked up for it. The rest of the players didn't.
Yeah.
So Hall came on. He looked good.
He
be
did.
Fair. But apart from that, it's hard call.
There's going to be some fun and games when we do the player scores tomorrow.
Quite much. I'm not surprised. I mean, Joelinton for me was it a pass or a header across the box in the first half? You don't do that. And then of course, that third goal, where Bruno's kick across the box again. Basic one. You don't do that.
Of course you don't. That's what I said. It's Sunday league stuff, isn't it? You give even the kids a rollicking for doing stuff like that. Not this level. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's criminal.
It was a bad day at the office. There wasn't. And again, it goes back to what Chris was saying, which was a good old cliche. Like if one or two players are playing bad, it's down to the players. If everybody's playing bad, you've got to question the management, the tactics, everything to go with it. Where do you stand on Eddie, Roger?
I have been a hashtag Eddie in for a lot of times. A lot of times. At the same time, the last few games, yes, okay, hate Man U. I don't know anyone who doesn't hate Man U apart from pretend Man U plastic fans. It was something else I saw before, elsewhere, wherever. They won loads of stuff and they played crap for years.
Yeah.
However, we can't play crap and scrape by. And today was worst of the worst.
Yeah. I agree with you, mate.
Tim joining us in the chat. Tim, what you got to say, mate? Can you hear us?
He was okay.
There you.
Yeah. Carry on, Tim.
Go on.
I agree with most of your points. Basically, I think Joelinton. I think Eddie loves Joelinton so much, and don't forget how much he has improved. So I don't think it should be cast aside. But ultimately, I think Joelinton needs to be benched. And Tonali is an out-and-out midfielder, and we need to have his nous in midfield. Whereas Joelinton needs to have a spell to be impact player, and he might regain his confidence and his spark. But for now,
get his mojo back.
Aye, and I know everyone's saying it, but I think Tonali does need to start. And like I've been saying, I think two strikers on the pitch. A lot of managers don't want to do it. Is everyone wants to play like
4-4-2.
The best.
No, exactly. But
it is
because thing is, it was never always just 4-4-2. Like you think back to like teams in the past where you had like Sheringham dropping into number 10. So when we had other dropped in number 10. So when we had 4-4-2 in the past, it wasn't as if it was two static players. Do you know what I mean? So managers have got kind of brainwashed into thinking you've got to play a certain way all the time, whether it's inverted wingers or whether it's from the back, as opposed to principles of football that have been around hundreds of years. And isolating the striker, whatever your label you want to put on it, isn't going to help. So, like you have said, I think Isak is a quality player, but he's not great when he hasn't got support. And ultimately, it is 4-5-1 that we're playing. Now they say 4-3-3, but Barnes track back. So, so I think for me, get two centre midfielders like Tonali and Bruno does need to up his game. Again, you shouldn't forget what he's done, in perspective, but he does need to up his game. And have two wingers, Barnes and Gordon. And then, ideally Wilson, obviously injury record. But if not, then I would just give Asula a run out. He's got the hustle and bustle to occupy defenders. And then Isak's got the space and the support to operate between the lines.
Yeah,
that's what
I agree with you.
Perfect sense to me.
Yeah, I agree. Just before we move on, then, guys, just while you're actually on the show,
these guys are great, man. We need,
absolutely.
we need
Do you guys see like what I see? Do you think that the lads are confused by Eddie's tactical awareness type of thing? What he's trying to put across on the field during the week? It's obviously not being seen on the pitch because you can see Eddie and Mad Dog actually screaming at them, pulling their hair out, and giving instructions on the park. Well, you very rarely get that from teams that are doing what the managers set out for them to do. Is that the way you're thinking, same as myself, or do you have another idea of the reasons why it's not working at the moment? I'll go with you, Roger, first on that one.
Yeah, it's very hard. I'm not going to disagree with you at all. But clearly, what I was saying before, something is amiss in the team's performance. And as you rightly said, and I can't disagree with what you did say by analogy, one player, two players, you can fault them, whole team, manager.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, very hard to add
You've hit on a
things
theme here,
I don't
Chris,
know.
baby. You've hit a theme here.
Yes.
we got some good ones. Some good ones bit the bait on the coming on
what do
Roger
you
Cook
think
and
on
Tim.
that one?
I
think Roger, what were you saying? You got to go or something?
No, that's all. I will.
Okay. Sorry. Go on, Tim.
No worries. I think what you said before, in terms of in following through with Howe's instructions, what you said before about the intensity, I think that's definitely dropped off. So you would assume I want them to play with that same intensity as always have. To be fair, I think in this game, definitely the Wolves game, we didn't start too bad. Do you know what I mean? We had most of the ball. So I think they are starting with that intent. I think it's more when things start going wrong is when I think the confidence is a bit brittle. And I think it's at that point that they struggle to continue. I know they've came back in one game, so that's the character. But in terms of the imposing themselves in the game, I think when they get these kind of knockbacks, then I think that they lose the way in terms of the structure. So whether that is confidence or whether that is the actual setup from how, it's hard to say. I think everyone should take the fair portion of blame. Do you know what I mean? I think it shouldn't be on just one person.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe Bunce involved. I don't know, with the training. In terms of intensity, who knows?
And we'll bring Brant in. Brant.
Yeah, Brant, welcome, buddy.
So this is the famous Brant.
Yeah, you see me in the comments probably too much.
No, good.
Never enough.
It's all good, mate.
Brother. What do you think about the game, brother?
Well, I'm in agreement with pretty much what everybody said so far. Obviously, like these guys are talking about tactics. That's Eddie. That's what Eddie can control. I kind of look at it more as what's the most concerning for me is, Eddie's used to dealing with, when he first come on, it was relegation battle. It was bringing the team together. We're going to suck it up. We're going to pull up our socks. We're going to get out of the relegation zone. And And then it turned into the next step of, all right, hey, we did that. Now let's see what we can do moving up the table. And then, but when you look at our squad, yeah, we've always had some talent, but now we have guys that are kind of what a lot of people would consider like next level talent, like the Gordons and the Isaks and the Brunos. And when we brought them in, they weren't quite, you know, they looked like they could be that, but now they've proven to be that. And so for me, what I see is, and this is where I think I come back to what we're noticing, and why it's kind of been such a strange year so far, is Eddie has to deal with these different attitudes. I think you've had a team that's been together, and he's been able to kind of use that togetherness. And that's also why I think he talks about, you know, there's only a small group of people that he can bring in to improve the team. But I think he's kind of failing at kind of dealing with the different attitudes of the players now that are being looked at in a different light. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
Yeah, I can agree with it.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But by the way, yeah. By the way, Roger. I'm sorry. I will get to Roger in a
You
minute.
wanting to go, Roger?
Yeah, I've just cheers for having us on.
Yeah, okay, no
Pick
problem.
people
Thanks
and
for coming on, mate.
No problem.
Right.
See you
Anytime
again.
you want to, mate, just give us a shout and
Anytime.
we'll get
If-
you on.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye-bye.
See you, man. Have a good
Thanks,
one.
mate.
Brent, that Southern twang, man. Where you from?
well, I'm living in North Carolina now. I'm actually originally from Indiana, though.
Yeah, okay, we're good, man. Because we got the same thing going on here. But actually, we just put up the Eddie Howe's comments after the match. So let's take a listen to those, if you guys don't mind, so we can analyze Eddie. And by the way, you can rewatch these on the channel. You know, so we'll go to videos, and it's already up there. So let's take a listen to Eddie Howe as he spoke to the media after this loss, and see what he says.
Damage done in the first half there today?
Yeah, I think so. I'm disappointed with the result and aspects of the performance, especially in that first half, as you say. I think whenever you go to any away game, as we've found through our time, that you can't give away goals. We did today, especially disappointed with the first one. Standard stuff, really, and we didn't defend that situation well enough. And then you always give yourself a mountain to climb because the crowd's in the game. Responded well in the second half, much better. And you know, the games swing on big moments. We had a chance to make it 2-2. We didn't take it, and you know, then the third goal kills us off.
3 changes at half-time at Wolves and then 2 again today. What were you trying to achieve with them today?
Well, a tactical reshuffle, really. We changed quite a bit in the half-time break to try and find a route back into the game. And as I say, probably for the first half an hour of the second half, I was really pleased. Thought we did really well. I mean, still not perfect, but much better. Scored a great goal, and you felt the whole mood in the stadium change at that point. You think, you know, we've got a long time to try and chase the game and get another goal. And as I say, we did have our chances to do that. Unfortunately, we didn't take them, and it slipped away from us.
Harvey Barnes, another goal for him. So that is one positive from the day.
Yeah, I mean, I think the changes, I think the subs that came on in the halftime break did really well. Thought they improved our performance. Yeah, Harvey scored a really good goal. And as I said, we had chances to get more.
And for Will Osula to make his debut as well, a pleasing thing for him, and I guess that shows the progress that he's been making in recent weeks.
Yeah, we really like Will, and we think he's got great attributes. I think it was a tough moment for him in the respect of the game. You know, we really wanted at that stage of the game to have them penned in. We didn't. I don't think we chased the last 20 minutes as well as we could have done.
And I guess that's the frustration with the third goal as well. It very much does come when you're chasing the game and trying to take it to them at the end.
Yeah, we're still very much alive, and 6 minutes of injury time, you think, can we get one more chance? And we sort of had a few half chances, crosses coming in, and it looked like we could get on the end of something, but the third goal ended the game, really.
A disappointing one, but you can't stay too down because you've got another game in the Cup in just 3 days' time.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of this moment for us. We then go to a cup game, big cup game for us, and then Manchester City. So we knew this was going to be a difficult period, a number of away games consecutively. But yeah, I think, you know, we'll reflect, analyse as we do, and then we'll have to look forward very quickly to Wimbledon.
All right. So the words of Eddie Howe. Any takes from that? Tim, what did you think about the Gaffer? excuses or explanations? There you go. I think you're unmuted now. Say something.
No.
I think he's
Tim,
frozen.
can you hear us? No, I think he's gone.
No, he's
Someone
moving.
unread.
He's moving. His
Yeah,
eyes
yeah.
moving. Well, he
But
might need to come back.
He's
yeah,
gone
he
now.
popped off and then he's obviously struggled to get
Come back in.
some.
You've got the same stream, Tim, if you're watching
Yeah, yeah.
still.
Yeah, the stream link is just pinned in the chat. If Roger Cook is watching, Brent, or even Tim, give me a shout at the email right there, chris@nufctalk.tv, and we'll stay in chat because you guys brought up some good points.
Yeah, indeed.
About this matchup, and well, it's what. Listen, if Eddie doesn't learn, but we keep saying the same thing, man. This is the same story. This is just Fast and Furious 9.
I'm on about everybody pulling in the same direction, and look at that. Ali's in with Amanda, had a great relationship with the Brazilians. Zach Gordon, her leaving has had a massive impact on them. If I was Eddie Howe, I'd be ringing the FA before this turns nasty.
Yeah. Random Maxi says, make Brent a regular. Yeah, man, we got to get into Brent. We got to bring Tim as well. Tim, how you doing, man? Will you hear us?
Are you there yet?
Oh, he's having an issue with the internet, I think.
Oh. Yeah, you're moving. Can
Lads,
we hear
I
you?
can't hear you. So
yeah, we can hear you now.
What's going on with my Wi-Fi? But I can't hear anything you're saying.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Maybe in the StreamYard. Well, you can't hear us. So
You can't hear us now.
In your
Exactly.
settings, StreamYard settings.
Yeah, but you can't hear us, man. So what's the point? Yeah,
I'll see if I can sort this out.
It's
I'll
a
come
shame.
back.
In the
Okay,
settings. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, come back, brother. Well, those are a lot of people already listening to Eddie Howe saying excuses. And it's how the cookie
Shocking.
crumbles, man. But I got something from that says we were trying to shuffle and make something. I keep using this analogy, man. It's when somebody's drowning and they're just throwing their hand to see if they can catch onto something. But you are bringing insecurity and also not good leadership because the players are seeing you switch. The players, so just say Gordon and Barnes. You start the game. All right, lads, you go to the right, you go to the left. Let's go. Let's get it done. 20 minutes in and you switch them and then you switch them back. And then you're not showing that, leadership, in my opinion. You're not sure of what you're doing. You're just literally what he said, shuffling and trying to see if something happens. And it has worked before in these matches against Wolves, against these other teams, but it didn't work today against Fulham. And it's just surprising to me how things, how things are going. Roger Cook says, I'm still watching. Thank you for having me on. Microwave called my name. Roger, please send me an email if you don't mind at chris@nufctalk.tv. I just put it right there in the chat. Send me an email there, bud. Send me an email there because you look like Ben Jacobs a little bit. We have to put you on. You look like Superman, man, with those glasses on. So get in contact, brother. You did well.
I'm gonna ask you a question now. And I listen. I'm not here to cause a disturbance or anything like that.
Oh, cause it, man.
No. I'm just saying. No, listen. J7. We've seen him have one good game in 4. Right? Is it the fact that Eddie, being the stubborn person we all think he could be as the head coach, see this as being his little? He's changed this lad who was obviously lost as a centre forward, as a number 9. He's rekindled him as being this super midfielder that we all saw last season, and unfortunately, because of Gordon's performance, didn't probably get the mantle as he should have got from the fans. Is he now afraid to drop the lad because he's made him into this super midfielder that we all acknowledged last season, but this season just isn't it in the high notes at all? Apart from the one super ball that he played through the middle for us to get the goal against Tottenham, hasn't really performed in any favours whatsoever. Yes, he's hustled and bustled, but he's not really making inroads into the ball, progressing the ball forward. He's picking up stupid yellow cards that is no need to pick up. Do you think that's one of the reasons why Eddie's afraid to drop him?
Well, the fact that we're talking about afraid to, I mean, I know that's not what Eddie said, but I mean, it just, Tim, are you there, mate?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, man, you're a pro bot. I think your
Just before
TV
we go
maybe
any
or
further.
something is something might be up. You're a pro bot.
2 seconds. I've got an echo.
I think your TV. Oh, hold on. I think I might be able to fix that. Well, no. I put the echo cancellation on. Hold on. I think I might be able to fix that. Maybe it's you got the TV on or a Chrome tab open or something.
No.
It might be, or your phone. But maybe it's you got. Let me do that. Matt's have given us 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Matt's lovely guy. And they're going to Mark Byers,
yeah,
John Lucas, George Nada, Jamie Harrison, and Spirit Universe. So thank you so much, and welcome to the new members. And enjoy those, because
thanks, Matt.
Because thank you so much, Matt. Man, you're lovely.
Thank you.
And so, but you were talking about Joelinton, man, and look, last match, I thought, well, changing Joelinton may be something drastic, but I mean, he's not playing well. He's not playing well. But the thing is, did Willock do? It's tough. It's tough because you got Willock. That's about it. That's it. Brent, I mean, Tim, do you hear us now?
Yes.
Is
that
now we got you sorted, mate.
Sorry about that.
By the way, where are you from, Tim? Where are you from?
I'm from a place called Washington, which is between. Well, it's in kind of next to Newcastle.
It's where your country originated from.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. Washington, a traitor, man, having a house in England during those times. Are you kidding me? Well, come on, man. But listen, Tim, I need your email, your contact, bro. So before you go, we gotta sort it out because you're good. You, Roger, and Brent, good stuff.
No,
but what do you think, man? Do you think the manager? What's going on? Is the manager scared to make subs? Is he overthinking everything? Is he too nervous making changes and then switching them back? I mean, is Eddie Howe? Is it getting to Eddie Howe already?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily getting to him, but I just think he's kind of always been wedded to particular ways and to particular players. So he wouldn't call it kind of having his favourites, but I just think for Joelinton, for example, I think he just really rates Joelinton. So he sees him as a player who can be brilliant. So he thinks, well, why should I drop that player? Why should I do something so quick when I know what he can be? So it's more kind of from that angle, I would say. Like, I do really like Eddie Howe. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love Eddie Howe for what he's done. So I don't want to jump on his back too much. I just think he's always had his ways of giving the players a chance on the pitch, and giving certain players a chance in terms of running the side, like Joelinton, like others. So I don't think it's necessarily changed, but there has been a bit of a change in terms of the performances. That rhythm that we haven't seen this season. To be fair with the subs, he has made subs the last few games, hasn't he? At half time.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Now, some people say that they were warranted though. If he didn't make changes, imagine what would have happened against Wolves.
True.
And he doesn't make changes at halftime. So some people say I'm in there that he knew he messed up in the starting lineup, so he had to get it fixed. This time around, he waited a little bit. Well, no, I mean Hall came in, who was good. But it's just I don't know, man. And I think the pressure is a lot. Doing this, managing Newcastle is not the same as managing Bournemouth. And I don't know, man. I don't know if you.
By the way, Chris, that's Matt's 2 lots of 5 members.
Yeah, Matt's just gave us 5 more memberships. So thank you, Matt. And they're going to Magpie Extra, Paul Smith, Harry, Stevie T, and Michael. So thank you so much, Matt, and congrats to the new members of the channel. Well, let's, you know what? How about we see what people on X are saying? That do a bit of a, get those guys some love, of course, and a lot of good memes as well. If you're interested. So man, this is not good. 'Cause, Tim, man, you gotta get used to Mighty Win. He's a flip flop man. He's not
Nah, Mighty Win
he
is
says
not a
one thing and
flip-flop.
then he says one thing and then switches quickly. So just get used to him, mate. He'll make you mad, but just it is what it is. Let's take a look at what Twitter is saying. Alan Shearer, look at that. Well, it's interesting to see what Alan has to say. That was awful from Newcastle. Got what they deserved. Fulham much better. Wow.
Yeah,
The one and only, the mighty, the mighty one. Look at that. For black and white banter, good stuff from Matt. Fulham away will always have a special place in the hearts of NUFC fans. It was the game in 2005 that the club legend Santiago Muñez. I forgot about this guy, man. And yeah, I forgot about goal. Yeah. Well. Oh, Arsenal fans. Joe Willock, ESR plus Reese Nelson. Okay, so that's kind of a meme there, yeah. Because but he did play for Arsenal.
No, that's Emil Smith Rowe.
Yeah.
Didn't do well. Meme Castle United says NUFC immediately after kickoff. Let's take a look.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I give up. Well played, guys. It's. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I give up. Well played, guys.
The beast.
It's about right.
Been on that show.
By the way, people in Chicago, the Premier League mornings is back in the United States, and look at these are Fulham fans, man. Relax. These are Fulham fans, but Newcastle fans are there as well. So I don't know what this is. Meme Castle, weekends ruined.
There's Eddie.
I've come to talk with you again.
Oh man. Yeah, man. We'll have to take it this weekend, man. It's that time of the week again, says Steven. Newcastle match.
Yeah.
Oh boy, am I excited to watch my favorite team play. And then I'm going to kill myself. Nice, we won. Not really, we didn't win.
That's an old one.
That was from Wolves, that one was. That's an old one.
No, but he played it. He put this again against, probably
I know.
when we scored.
That was originally from Wolves, the one he did. We won.
Yeah. Let's see what else is here, man. Not a lot of good memes. Arsenal fans seeing Emil Smith Rowe scoring and thriving at Fulham. Well, he did play decent, man. He wasn't. Look,
yeah, he was.
He was good, but Traore. People were talking about Traore. He was busy on that right side, man. Poor Burn couldn't have. He just couldn't have.
I mean, I know Eddie has obviously got to take this one on the chin, and we've also got to say,
and he has got
Fulham,
to take it on the chin.
Fulham did one over us, but there wasn't nothing from Fulham. And people are saying I'm going to be biased now. I saw that, thought to myself, you know what? These are a really good organised team. They've got a lot of talent. They've got a really strong midfield. They just capitalised on us being poor. It wasn't the fact that they were an absolutely outstanding team, and I'm not being funny here. I thought Bournemouth were a lot better team than they were today.
Right.
But like I said, you can carry one or two, but you can't carry 5 or 6. And there was 5 or 6 players out there today that I really struggled to understand what their role was within the team. And like I said, for us going forward, it just didn't seem as if we were going to create anything once we got in the final third, which always makes it difficult to score. But for the opposition, I don't know what it was, but it looked like every time they went into our box, they was going to carve at least a half a chance. And they capitalised on the 3 chances that they got.
All right. Well, we had a good reaction, of course. But tomorrow at 9 p.m., we'll have the full match review with scores and stats and all that stuff. But this was a gut reaction to what happened. Look, we lost our first game. I guess that's
What's your final thoughts, Tim?
Well, Tim, don't go anywhere though. After the stream, we'll chat with you in a minute. But what do you think? What last thoughts on the match?
Well, just quickly, what you're saying there, Gary. I think for me, like when we're playing away from home, we do lack that number 6, and Eddie Howe, he's never been one to have a number 6. He wants Bruno to be in the middle, but kind of pressing and going forward. But yeah, I think I would. And it's again, it's hard to be too critical because we've got 4th and 7th, playing this way. But I do think those gaps appear too often away from home, and we haven't got that midfielder to plug those gaps. I go back to like years ago where Rob Lee, as he got older, he was brilliant at that role in midfield, in Gary Speed. And you just need you need that midfielder to see the danger and if you're going to play with forward wingers, let those wingers kind of go forward and maybe stay forward. If you've got somebody swooping up further back, Fulham's counter-attacks. So I think for me, that's something I would look at. Like I said, I'd just try and go kind of more 4-4-1 or 4-4-2 and plug those gaps that way. And have Bruno Tonali just one of them more just sitting in and dictating, but sensing the danger and covering those gaps. But we were going to lose a game at some point, and I don't want to kind of make it all like for me. Eddie Howe wouldn't be in danger at all this season for me, unless we are like bottom half of the league. I think
the big worry that I take away from today is looking at the whole team, the attitude, the body language, and to me, that's all filtering down from Howe's attitude and body language. Whereas hitherto, it's been, we're all in it together and we're all on the way up. It's really, really worrying for me now that Eddie doesn't look the same person. His body language is all wrong. And that seems to be filtering down to the whole squad, that they haven't got the pep and the bounce and the resilience that we're used to seeing from an Eddie Howe side. Intensity is our identity and all of that bollocks, if you call it bollocks, which I thought was fantastic at the time. That just isn't apparent now at all. And I'm sure this is all to do with what's going on in the background. The so-called civil war that's raging there now is it inevitably it's filtering through. What a few comments before about Amanda, since Amanda's gone, that togetherness, that unity, that united approach has gone. And that to me is what is the really, really worrying thing.
Yeah. I just quickly say on that, I do think the players love Howe. Do you know what I mean? He I know maybe it didn't look like it today, but I think they genuinely want to do well for him. And
I agree with that.
And I think if you've had Paul Mitchell coming in the summer, going around to the players saying, come with me on a journey. I'm world class. I'm this, I'm that. Then, Craig Hope, I think maybe he's going on maybe too much at the moment in the press conferences about this. But if going further back, if that's what Mitchell was doing, I can kind of imagine some players thinking, well, hang on a second. I have been on a journey with Eddie Howe. Thank you very much. And I'm still on a journey with him. So you're not coming in here to save us. We don't need to be saved from you.
Exactly. We don't need to be saved. Yeah. We're already well on our way. Thank you very much.
And those players who love Howe see Howe kind of in this battle, and perhaps there has been a little bit unsettling. It is hard to say exactly how much because we're not privy to all the details. You know what I mean? So you don't want to kind of say for definite, but maybe that is like that harmony from the top is, or lack of harmony is trickling down potentially.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Great point, though.
Man, good point, man. We got to replace you for the mighty win, man. We want to replace him for a long time. Yeah, man. But no, good stuff. Listen, it is what it is. We lost. So tomorrow we'll have the match review. The old man get his feelings hurt.
New lineup. We've got substitutes.
But anyways, Tim, stay right there if you don't mind. To the rest of the folks, appreciate your support. Thank you for the membership gift, and that stuff is great. And we'll be back tomorrow with a full review of the game. And be mindful, today we're going to put a lot of videos, tomorrow the highlights of the watch along, etc. So pay attention to what's happening on the channel. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you, Mighty Win. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Roger, that came on. Thank you, Brent, as well. And I'll see you guys on the next one, folks.
And
Cheers,
thank
lads.
you, Super Chats. Thank you.
Thank you